Hey guys, what's up? It's Eidolon here, and welcome to the first episode of my Warframe Beginner's Guide series for 2024 and 2025. In this series of videos, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to make you ready for Warframe's upcoming 1999 update as fast as possible. Everything that I cover in this guide should still be relevant all the way through to 2025, but if something isn't one-to-one with what I'm saying in these videos, make sure to come and find me either live on YouTube or on Twitch, and I'll answer any question that you have about the game. I'm going to try to teach you literally everything that you need to know about Warframe step by step as fast as possible and with no spoilers, so you get to learn the game and enjoy the game just like everybody else. And if you haven't made a Warframe account yet, there's going to be a link in the description below which is going to allow you to sign up and also get a 7-day XP booster, and all I get in return is 10% of any of the platinum that you buy at no extra cost to you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Warframe in 2024 and 2025. If you're a new player, a lot has changed, and I even had to make an account to play through to reteach myself the game, so this is going to be really fun this year. So after you watch the prologue, the introductory cutscene, you're going to be greeted with your first choice, and this is your starter Warframe choice. Now, if you've already picked one of these Warframes, don't worry too much because Excalibur, Mag, and Vault, all three are pretty good frames, and they will, get you through most of the missions in the game. But for the sake of this guide series, we're going to be using Vault. And the reason that we're going to be using Vault is because he is the most versatile of the three. You can use Vault in literally every single activity in the game, and he's going to perform. He is going to do good. Excalibur and Mag are a little bit more niche later on in the game, so Excalibur is kind of melee based, Mag is all about killing big hordes of enemies and stuff like that. Where Vault is just more versatile, he can be like a damage buffer, he can kill those big groups of enemies, he can go really fast, he's just a really efficient frame, so we're going to settle on him right now. If Excalibur and Mag look interesting to you though, don't worry about it, because we can get those two frames for totally free, just like everything in Warframe, really early. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to settle on Vault. We're going to press confirm, and that's going to throw us into the game. Once you spawn in, you want to go ahead and pause the game and tweak all of your settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my sensitivity all the way down because I play on 1600 DPI. You might want to do your sound effects volume and stuff like that. So I just turn all of these off because I don't want to hear the characters talk. And then if you go into accessibility, there's a bunch of different things in here which you can turn on or off depending on what you want. I recommend looking for screen shake. Took me a little while to find it. It's under video here. Just go ahead and turn that there off, and then make sure to change obviously your video settings as well. Go ahead and turn up your field of view to 90 if you're able to. Just go ahead and hit confirm to apply all of those settings, and then what we're ready to do is just run around, use our first ability to kill all of these bad guys, and then just go ahead and progress forward once they're all dead. So I'm going to talk a little bit about movement from the get-go. So Warframe is a game that is heavily based on movement. So you have your sprinting, so you can hold down your sprint button to sprint. Then you can hold down the slide button to slide, and you can actually chain slides and jumps and sprinting all together. So I can sprint, I can slide into a double jump, and then a roll in the air, and then land again in a slide to cover the most distance possible. And getting familiar with the movement is quite important because you're going to want to be doing missions as fast as possible. So just take the time to really mess around with the movement and really master it and get it down. So you're eventually going to come up to these two melee weapons right here. Now you have the scanner and you also have the bow. Now which one you choose, again, doesn't matter because we can get both of them quite early. But for the sake of this guide series, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the bow. And the reason that we're picking the bow is that we get a stance mod pretty early, which changes the moves and gives us more modding capacity, which allows us to upgrade it a lot easier. And also, we're going to use this in crafting, so we're going to use it to actually craft another weapon. If you pick the scanner, like you've already done it and you're watching this video after the fact, don't worry too much about it. It really is okay. So you just want to go ahead, progress on, following the yellow marker as well. As you're running through the game, you're going to come across these little things here, so it's just something in the environment which is glowing, and if you go ahead and you break it, you see at the bottom of the screen, you get some resources. Now, that's super important in Warframe because you need resources to craft new weapons and Warframes and stuff. So anytime you see something that's glowing on the map, just go ahead and break it. You're going to get some resources, and it's just going to make your life easier later on. Alright, so next up we have our secondary weapons. You've got the choice between the Lado pistol and also the kunai. We're going to go ahead and pick up the kunai simply because we're going to use the kunai and the bow to make another weapon later on. Don't worry about picking the Lado or not picking the Lado because we're going to be able to get the Lado later on quite easily anyway. So after you've progressed through the quest enough, you're eventually going to come to a choice between a rifle and a bow and arrow. I recommend picking up the bow and arrow, the Paris, simply because this weapon is strong and it is going to take you through most of the planets quite easily. Okay, so after you complete the first mission of the game, you're going to be put into your very own spaceship, and depending on when you join Warframe, you might get a bunch of like different inbox messages and stuff like that. Sometimes the developers like to give the players just random gifts for things, like if an update comes out or if we do something as a community. So as you'll be able to see here, I'm getting a bunch of stuff which is just like being straight up like added to my account. So this Forma stuff we're going to be using to upgrade Warframes later on. You'll be able to craft that yourself. I've also got a free weapon here as well, and we got some cosmetics and bonus slots and even a legendary core, which is quite rare. So you may or may not get something similar whenever you first put up Warframe. It's just something to keep in mind. So on your first day of playing Warframe, it's actually super important that you join a clan as soon as possible, and this is because clans come with dojos, and in dojos you have access to trading posts and a lot of different warframes and weapons which you can buy and craft. So what we want to do is we want to join a clan to get the clan key blueprint delivered into our inventory, and then we're going to get the resources to actually craft that clan key so we can go into the dojo so we can trade with other players to get the premium currency of Warframe for totally free. So if you go ahead, go into the description of the video, there's going to be a link to my Discord. Take a read at the rules and do all of the onboarding stuff that we've got set up. Come down to the Warframe category here, press clan recruitment, take a little read at this post, and then post your in-game name and the platform that you play on. The only rules that we have for the clan is that if you're offline for 100 days, we're going to kick you, and that you stay in the Discord. That is pretty much it. So super important to join a clan as soon as possible because we want to get this clan key crafting as soon as possible so we have access to trading and a bunch of other stuff, which is just going to make our life a lot easier in Warframe. So now that we're in our ship, the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually restore it. And the first quest of Warframe is simply just that. We need to go around and get stuff to restore our ship. So as you can see here, I'm installing the Arsenal segment. And this Arsenal segment, it allows us to actually just like look at our Warframe. We can customize it. We can upgrade our weapons and stuff like that later on from this little area here. But right now we don't have the facilities for that, so we gotta go get them. So the game's going to direct you towards navigation. So if you go ahead and you take a seat here, then you go ahead and you press this little X icon in the top right. This is your quest menu, and all you have to do is press basically what it says here, Vor's Prize, and it's going to automatically start the next thing that you have to do. So always keep that in mind. The little X icon with the circle in the middle, that's where you go to start the next mission of your currently active quest. So the game is going to slowly introduce you to the different types of missions that it has. And this first mission is a spy mission. Now you're going to see this area, which is marked A. And this A area, it's the one and only spy vault here. So what we have to do is we need to sneak in undetected just to get past those first two lasers, shoot this grate, and then jump down this hole. And then you're going to land at this console here. Just go ahead, hack that. It's quite slow at the beginning because they try to make it as easy as possible for you. Then just go ahead, turn around, walk out the door, and follow this little green UI icon to get to the exit of the mission. You'll see at the end of the mission, you actually get rewards. So we got these little cards, and these are called mods. Then you're eventually going to land back into your ship, and you just want to do what the game tells you to do. Just go ahead and install all of the segments that you're collecting as you play. So once you've installed whatever the game tells you to install, and the characters eventually stop talking, just come back to navigation, press on that X icon, and press on Vor's Prize Quest, and it's going to start the next mission for you. So this next mission that the game's put us into, this is a rescue mission, and as you can see, we have these little resource things laying around here, just make sure to open up as many of those as possible so you get a ton of resources. Resources are going to be the bane of your existence whenever you first start playing, because it's very important to always be crafting new weapons and warframes because of how long it actually takes to put things together and the amount of different things that you're going to need. So getting as many resources as humanly possible is so worthwhile. So you can see that there's different looking types of resources. So this is ferrite, and the things that we've been destroying mainly have been for rubido. There's many different resources in Warframe. So whenever you come to these two yellow buttons, this is what we like to call a friendship door. If you have a buddy with you, you're both going to have to come up here to activate this door. But if you're playing solo, you can just do it on your own. Just go ahead and hit that. And because this is a rescue, this room is always going to be the same. So you can just shoot open that vent to the right. And then just keep on coming through. And now you're in the little rescue area. You just want to go ahead and hack these consoles. And if you're lucky in the first go, you'll find the rescue target. Now, you don't want him to die. But the thing is, he's quite slow. So you don't actually want to like stay around and protect him. You just want to go ahead and rush to the exit. And if you can see, I've got this like trail coming from behind me. That's actually my speed ability on Vault. I've leveled up enough to actually unlock that. I'm only level 4 on Vault. And that just gives me more movement speed and lets me get through the mission a little bit faster. So instead of waiting around for the rescue target, just go ahead, run to the exit. He'll teleport behind you. And then once you're at the exit, mission is over. You know, you don't have to wait for him to get to you. And you get a bunch of new mods and stuff, which is quite nice. So after the rescue mission and you've installed everything into your ship, you're going to get access to your arsenal and the upgrade screen. So if you just come back to here, go ahead, interact. You can press upgrade on your vault, your Paris, your kunai, or your bow, and you're going to see all of these cards. Now, these cards are your mods, and you can upgrade these mods to make your warframes and weapons more effective. So for example, if we wanted to make Vault's shock ability deal more damage, or his speed ability to speed us up more, we would use this intensify mod because it gives us more ability strength. If we wanted the speed ability to last longer, we would use this continuity mod because it gives us more ability duration. If we wanted more health, we throw in vitality. If we want our abilities to affect more enemies, so maybe make shock hit more targets, we can throw on stretch for more ability range. And if we want more shields, we can go ahead and throw on redirection. Now, what you'll notice is that you have these shapes on the top right-hand corner of the mods, or the cards, whatever you want to call them. And the number beside the shape is actually the mod's cost. So if we take this Intensify mod, which has a cost of 6, and we match the V-shape with the V-shape in Vault's modding section, it's going to go ahead and half the cost and make it so we can equip it when we only have 5 capacity. Now, the amount of capacity that your Warframe has is determined by its level. So the max capacity without any other upgrades is actually 30. Now, you can double that and add extra through other methods, but we haven't got those yet, so we're not going to talk about those yet. So for now, all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and have Intensify put on and Continuity put on, because that's going to allow me to use my speed ability, make it more effective, and have it last a little bit longer, which is what I want right now because I want to speed through stuff. We can go ahead and upgrade our Paris as well. So we go ahead and we throw on the Serration mod, and as you can see, it actually increases these numbers here. So it increases slash, puncture, and impact. Now, the keen-eyed of you, you're going to notice that if you add the slash number, the puncture number, and the impact number together, that's what gives you your total damage for your weapon. Now, don't worry about the fact that there's 3 different damage types on your weapon too much to begin with. It doesn't really matter that much, but these do play a role in how much damage you can deal to different types of enemies later on in the game. It doesn't mean a lot at the start of the game, but later on it might mean a little. As long as you know that slash plus puncture plus impact is what makes up your weapon's total damage, that's all you really need to know right now. So throwing on a mod like Serration, which just increases those 3 values, is pretty good for us. We're actually going to go ahead and do the same with our kunai using the Hornet Strike mod, and we can match the polarity to make it cost less. And then on our bow, we go ahead and we upgrade, we throw on Pressure Point, and it's going to increase the puncture and impact that it has. As you can see, not all weapons are made equal. This doesn't have any slash damage on it. Doesn't mean that it's a bad weapon, it just means that it doesn't have any slash damage, and it's just going to be better versus different types of enemies. If you want to play the game totally solo, come to your navigation, go to the top left hand corner of the screen. You can change your party privacy to public, friends only, invite only, or solo. I like to keep mine just on invite only because that's just how I roll. Sometimes I invite people, sometimes I don't. And all I want you guys to do is keep on going on with the Vor's Prize Quest. So after you progress through the Vor's Prize Quest a little bit, you're going to be asked to come to the foundry and asked to craft this Ascaris Negator thing. Just go ahead and craft that. Now, you can go ahead and rush it for 0 platinum, which is the premium currency of Warframe, or you can just wait the 10 seconds that it takes. And then, assuming all of the dialogue is done from all of the characters, you're going to go ahead and you're going to, like, take the device off of your Warframe, and you're free from the bad guy. Now, what you'll also see if you come to the foundry is the clan key that we got for joining the clan. Now, you need 500 polymer, 1 morphix, and 500 ferrite to craft it, and we want to get this crafting as soon as possible, because by gaining access to the clan, we gain access to a trading post, and we can use a trading post to trade items with other players to get the premium currency platinum for free. So one of our goals for our first day of playing Warframe is absolutely getting this clan key crafted as soon as possible. So this is a mission in the Vor's Prize Quest, and you come up to this little thing. You put the thing in the thing, and then this thing comes up, and then you can go ahead and you can take this thing out of this big thing, and now it gives you a choice. You can either go to the yellow and save some people that you don't know, or you can just go ahead and extract. I vote for just going ahead and extracting, because by going to the yellow thing, you literally get nothing, so it's kind of just a waste of your time. Alright, the last mission of the Vor's Prize Quest is to actually go and kill Vor, the boss. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to throw on some of the mods that we got from completing the other missions. So if you come down to your arsenal, you go ahead and press upgrade, you're going to see this mod here called Equilibrium. This mod is really nice because what it does is it turns health orbs into energy orbs and energy orbs into health orbs. So it basically just gives you more of each, right? So you can sustain your health better, you can sustain your energy better, and if you can sustain your energy better, then you can use your abilities more often. And then I suppose if you really want to, because we're rank 9 with Vault, we can go ahead and we can throw on our Vitality mod here because it only costs 2. So again, we're matching the shape for Equilibrium on that little dash polarity, and that allows us to put it on for half the cost. On our Paris, we've got 2 extra mods. We have Bane of Grenier and Bane of Corpus. So Grenier and Corpus are different factions of enemies found within Warframe, and Vor is part of the Grenier faction, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and throw that on. On our kunai, our secondary weapon, we have Convulsion and Heated Charge, and these are quite important mods because they are elemental mods. And if you guys remember earlier, we talked about Slash, Puncture, and Impact. Well, those 3 are added together to give us our total damage, right? And this is saying plus 15 heat or plus 15 electric, but it has to, pull a number from somewhere to give us some type of elemental damage, right? So what it does is it takes our Slash, Puncture, and Impact, our total damage, and turns 15% of that into electric damage, and then 15% of that into heat damage if we could throw the 2 of them on, but we can't because we don't have enough capacity. But if I could throw the 2 of them on, we could make an elemental combination. So these mods, the elemental mods, are very good because they take your Slash, your Puncture, your Impact, they take whatever percentage of that, then they add it on top, and that adds to your total damage and also gives you bonuses versus certain enemies that are weak to the likes of electric, fire, radiation, whatever the element is that you're running on your weapon. On our bow, we've got the Fury mod, and that just increases our attack speed, so why not throw it on? Also, if we're being super optimal here, we would probably run Heated Charge instead of Convulsion, but ideally, this early on in the game, you probably want to run both. So here we are at Captain Vor. He's pretty ugly, right? So all we're going to do is we're just going to shoot him in the head with our bow, and he's eventually going to take enough damage where he goes into this like immune phase. He spawns in more enemies. You just have to kill those guys for a little bit, and then you just do the same again. You just go ahead, shoot him in the head whenever he eventually stands still. He's going to do the exact same thing. He leaves down these little mines in the floor which damage you. If you've leveled up, you can go ahead, use your electric shield ability, which is your third ability. If you shoot through that, it's going to add electric damage to your shots, and it's also going to increase the amount of critical damage that you do as well. So electric shield is very strong whenever you're trying to deal a lot of damage to a single target. And as you can see, Vor's already dead, and we're going on to the exit of the mission. Right, so that's mission complete. That is your first quest in Warframe done. Now the game is just going to throw you into your ship, and it's not going to tell you what to do apart from give you new quests on the top right hand of the screen. But what we want to do first as a new player to Warframe is we want to complete all of the main quests, and we also want to unlock everything on the star chart. So if you go to navigation and you zoom out, you can see a bunch of different planets. All of these planets have many different missions. We want to be completing as many missions as we possibly can. There are going to be some missions which you literally can't complete yet because you're a newer player. So take, for example, an interception mission. That's the type of mission where you have to hold down 4 different points, and that might be difficult for you as someone who isn't super powerful yet, right? So there's going to be some missions that you're going to want to avoid, and there's also going to be some missions which you find incredibly easy, which you can just do and progress to, progress through the star chart. So as you can see here, if we just take a look at Earth, we've actually got E Prime, Mariana, Mantle, Gaia, and Cambria done. And that takes us all the way down to this thing called the Venus Junction. Now, these junctions, which have planets' names beside them, are actually gateways to other planets. And if we go ahead and we hover over it, you can see that it's got a bunch of requirements or challenges that we have to do before we can actually go in there. So it says to complete the quest Saya's Vigil, so we have to speak to Konzu in Cetus, and we have to use Fusion to rank up any mod. So it says Fusion requires Endo and credits, and it's available at the mods bench in the middle deck of your orbiter. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that right now. So if you go down this ramp and you take a left, you can see your mods bench, and what we want to do is we want to choose a mod that we want to level up. Now, you want to choose a mod which increases your damage, your ability strength, ability range, ability duration, maybe your health, maybe your shields. It's entirely up to you at this point which mod you want to level up first. As long as you don't level up a mod like Ammo Drum, for example, because you don't often run out of ammo that much in Warframe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade the Serration mod. So I'm just going to go ahead and left click it. I'm going to press Fusion here in the top left, and I'm going to press this plus icon as many times as I can until one of these things gets grayed out. So I can upgrade my Serration mod 3 times, which is indicated by these little diamonds and the fact that it says rank 3. I just go ahead, press apply fusion, and that's going to consume 140 endo and 6,762 credits. So apply, yes, done. Now what that is also going to do, it increase the amount of mod capacity Serration costs to equip. So if you go back to your arsenal and we go to the Paris here, you can see now Serration takes 7 mod capacity instead of the 4 that it was taking previously. So the more powerful the mod capacity it takes to equip. And remember, mod capacity is gained by leveling up your weapon. So because my Paris is rank 14, I've got 14 capacity. Something that you might have noticed is in the top left hand corner, I've got this little blue symbol. And basically what that means is that I am able to level up my mastery rank. So if I go ahead and I pause the game, I can see mastery rank up. Now what you have to do before you can actually mastery rank up is you need to level weapons and warframes from level 0 to level 30, or as many levels as you can possibly get. So the more warframes and weapons you level up, the higher your mastery rank is going to go. So you're passively earning this mastery rank XP as you level things. And because we've leveled our Vault Warframe, our Paris, our Kunai, and our Bow, we've got enough Mastery XP to Mastery rank up our account. It's basically like your account's level. Now, you can only go up 1 Mastery rank per day, and the progress from leveling your equipment actually carries over, even if you're at your sort of like limit, so to speak. So if I go ahead and I press show profile here, you can see that we have got 6,140 mastery rank XP. But to get to mastery rank 1 from mastery rank 0, you actually only need 2,500. So basically, what I'm saying is you want to level as many Warframes and weapons from level 0 to level 30 as soon as possible. Because the more you do that, the higher your mastery rank or your account rank is going to get. And the higher your mastery rank, the more weapons and stuff that you're going to get access to. It also enables you to just do more stuff in the game on a daily basis. So leveling up your mastery rank is top priority as well. So assuming we've got a Warframe, a primary, a secondary, and a melee equipped, we can go ahead, pause the game, press mastery rank up, and you can see at the bottom of the screen here, the rewards that you get for actually ranking up. So we get plus 500 daily standing limit, plus 1 base mod capacity, and plus 50 void trace storage. Now, all of that isn't going to make any sense to you right now, but trust me, it's all good stuff. Just go ahead and press begin test, and this master rank 1 test is going to be extremely easy. All we've got to do here is kill the enemies with our primary weapon, and for some reason, the developers have made them T-pose. I think that's probably a bug, but yeah, as you can see, really easy. You just got to do 3 waves and then you're done. And upon completion, you're going to get, you've earned the master rank initiate, big one, and the rewards at the bottom. There you go, easy peasy. So it's currently 9:38 in the morning for me. So if I get enough mastery rank XP to go on to mastery rank 2, I'm not going to be able to do that until 9:38 tomorrow. So you're kind of time gated a little bit with your mastery rank, but it doesn't matter too much. Any progress you make towards actually increasing your account level is still going to count, even though like you're limited on how many mastery tests you can do in a day. So by the end of my play session today, I might actually be mastery rank 4. I just might not be able to do the tests to actually get there until 4 days have passed. You might have got an inbox message from Darvo saying, you know, here's a weapon for you. So he gives us the Bursting Blueprint, some Morphic, some Polymer, and some Alloy. We're actually going to use the Polymer from this to craft our clan key. Now, don't stress too much if you haven't got invited to the clan to craft the clan key. You can just go ahead and craft the Bursting. Realistically, you want to be crafting as many things as you possibly can as soon as you can, because if you take a look and see, you can see that the clan key is going to take 12 hours and the Bursting is also going to take 12 hours. So we're going to go ahead and start the clan key craft, and if we're lucky, we'll also have the Bursting crafting by the end of this play session as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Cetus, which is this big tall looking structure here on Earth, and we're going to talk to Konzu. Now, once you load into Cetus, you can go ahead and hold down Q, and you can just press this thing at the top, press Konzu, and it's immediately going to make you start talking to him. He's going to give us a bounty that we have to go and do in the first open world of Warframe. So we just go ahead and press on Prove Yourself here, and we want to go up to this big door, and then we go through to this other big door, and it is going to lead us into the plains of Eidolon. Now, if you go ahead and you hold down M, you can see exactly where you have to go, and you're also going to see all of these different like little white sort of points. You can just go ahead and left click on one of those to teleport over to that white point, and that's going to take you closer to the objective that you actually have to complete. So it says eliminate nearby enemies, and we can get a bonus reward if we complete it with 2 minutes remaining. So we want to kill the 25 enemies as fast as we possibly can. So we just completed the bounty, and we got some credits and some standing with the Plains of Eidolon faction, the Ostrons. So now it just wants us to go back to that big gate, so I'm just going to go ahead, hold M. I'm going to teleport to the location which is closest to the gate, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump on over, and that's it. That's your first ever bounty in the Plains of Eidolon completed. So now, if we go ahead and we talk to Konzu, he's going to give us a little bit of dialogue and is going to ask us to basically play through the Saya's Vigil quest. Now, I'm going to let you guys play through this yourself because it is pretty straightforward and you just want to pay attention to the lore. So just go ahead and play through it. There's one thing that I'm going to mention that happens sort of like halfway through the quest, but we'll jump and we'll cover that now. So what's going to happen is the game is going to ask you to equip Codex scanners. Now, before you go to your arsenal to equip Codex scanners, go ahead and pause the game, go to communication, go to inbox, and you've got some free Codex scanners here. So the reason that I'm mentioning this is because sometimes the game doesn't force open your inbox, so you don't get the Codex scanners, and some people end up wasting 500 credits. At the end of the day, it's 500 credits, and that's not a lot at all in Warframe, but it might be the difference between being able to craft something and not for you as a newer player. So, you know, just make sure to open the inbox to get the free Codex scanners instead of having to spend the 500 on them, right? So just come here, press it, and there you go. You've got 25 Codex scanners for totally free, and now you can go ahead and continue with the quest. Another thing I want to mention as well is that now that you've got full access to your ship, I want you to come to the market over here. Now, at first glance, you're going to see like all of these things costing platinum, but if we read here, it says here you can buy items using credits earned in missions or platinum obtained free purchases. Use credits to acquire blueprints and then craft items in your foundry or gain instant access with platinum. Hover over build requirements on an items market page to learn how to acquire it through gameplay. So you can get every weapon and every Warframe in Warframe for absolutely free. Even prime items. So even though the Silva and Aegis right here, it has platinum, we can get it for free by getting the blueprint and then crafting it using gallium, ferrite, alloy plate, and forma, right? So don't worry too much about the fact that you see platinum everywhere. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up some weapons for free, kind of, right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in MK1. Now, the reason that we're typing in MK1 is these are the worst weapons in the entire game, and you get them fully crafted for just spending credits. So you can see the MK1 Bow, the MK1 Bratton, the MK1 Furax, MK1 Furus, MK1 Kunai, MK1 Paris, and the MK1 Strun. Now, we want to buy every single one of these, and we want to get them from level 0 to level 30, and then we want to sell them again. And that is going to increase our mastery rank. We don't want to sell them until they have reached level 30, because we want to get as much mastery rank out of them as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy the items, well, as much as I can, because they only have 35,000 credits, but I'm just going to buy the MK1 Bow, the MK1 Paris, and the MK1 Kunai just to get rid of them, you know, because they're the worst weapons in the game because they're MK1, right? So here we go. Pick that up. MK1 Bow. Pick that up, and now I don't have enough for the kunai. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm going to equip these. They're going to be level 0, but, you know, it's better to get the MK1 weapons leveled and out of the way as soon as possible, simply because they are that bad. So now, just go ahead and continue on with the Sia's Vigil quest. Even though you're running bad weapons now, maybe, you're still going to be able to complete it just fine. Okay, just a little quick tutorial on how to use the Codex scanners. So just go ahead, hold Q. It's going to put it in your hand, just like a normal weapon. Just go ahead, right-click to aim down sights, and then left-click to scan, and there you go, done. So now all you have to do is stay within the yellow circle, find the other objectives, and it's going to ask us to kill a bunch of enemies now. We do that, and we've completed this mission of the quest. You're eventually going to come to a spy mission-esque little bit. So you want to go ahead, hack this console. You're going to come into this room, and it's going to ask you to scan the glass shard, right? So what you want to do, instead of like going on the tightrope and all of their stuff, just go ahead and jump up here. And then there's a bit of broken glass you can just go ahead and drop. Now, that's important to know because there's going to be spy missions that you got to do later on in this exact same room, and that's just the quickest and easiest method of getting in and out of the room to get the objective done, basically. You know, there's a door there with a camera. We just went ahead and broke it, and we can run out of it now because we went into that room, but it's literally just a matter of jumping up there, or if you can't do the jump, by the way, just crouch, look at the floor, or crouch and look up, and that's how you do the big super jump, or you can just run up the wall like so by holding spacebar, tapping spacebar, whatever, and then there you go, like you're on the roof as well. So yeah. Alright, once you've completed the Sia's Vigil quest, we're now actually free to go ahead and go to the Venus Junction, so we can move on to the Venus planet. So just go ahead, take a seat, press Venus Junction, and as you can see, we're going to get 5,000 credits, a Furious Blueprint, Northwind mod, Stormbringer mod, Taxon Blueprint, Clashing Forest, an Orokin Reactor, Dreamer's Bond, 500 salvage. That's a lot of rewards for just completing a junction. Alright, so whenever you enter a junction and you've completed all the challenges, just go ahead and interact with this little console. You can see that we have to fight a Vault Spectre, so all we're going to do is we're going to jump down, use electric shields, and we're just going to shoot at him through the shields, land headshots of course, and then he'll die, and there you go, he's dead. That wasn't too difficult at all, and he's dancing on the window. Holy, look at him go. Just go ahead and take a seat on the Activate Junction, and that's gonna unlock the next planet. Alrighty, so you can see that we have all of these different rewards. Now, one thing that's really important, this mod here called Dreamer's Bond, this is an aura mod, so the bonus that it reads says squad receives 0.05 energy regen per second and a 0.25 health regen per second. The entire squad's going to get that, and on top of that, it actually is going to give your Warframe more modding capacity. Same with this Orokin Reactor as well. We call these gold potatoes, and it's going to double your Warframe's modding capacity too if you choose to spend it on your starter Warframe. So I'm going to go ahead and head to my arsenal. I'm going to press upgrade on Vault. I'm going to go ahead and equip the Dreamer's Bomb mod. Now I can hold right click on that, and I can invest a little bit of Endo and credits into it to upgrade it a little bit. And as you can see, it's actually gave me a few bonus points to my modding capacity. Now, if I come down here and I press Actions, I can press Upgrade and install this Orokin Reactor to double my modding capacity, giving me even more, which is actually going to be very, very useful later on. So I came over to my foundry here, and I can see that I've got enough resources to craft the Taxon, but I don't have enough credits. So this guy is important because he is a sentinel. He's a companion who has a laser beam, which is going to slow down enemies for you. And on top of that, he's going to come with a mod, which is going to suck up resources within a certain range. So it's important that we get this guy crafting as soon as possible as well. He's going to take 24 hours to build. So I have to go and get 5,000 more credits before I can start crafting him. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from Earth over to Venus. And as you can see, at the end of Venus, there is the Mercury Junction. So it says defeat Jackal at Fossa on Venus, so Jackal being the boss on Venus. We've got to complete 10 waves of defense at Tessera on Venus in a single mission, and we have to complete the quest Vox Solaris, and that says speak to Utico in Fortuna. So we've got to go to Fortuna, we've got to go to Tessera, and we've got to go to Fossa. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, play E-Gate. That's going to unlock both Tessera and Fortuna, and then we'll see where we go from there. Now, completing E-Gate should have been pretty easy because it's a straightforward exterminate mission where you just have to kill bad guys. But Tessera, on the other hand, this is a defense mission where there is an objective in the middle which you have to defend, and every 5 waves you're going to complete what is called a rotation. Now, once you hit wave 5 and you complete it, it's going to ask you if you want to leave or if you want to stay, and that's when you're going to get your reward every 5th wave. So if you then survive until wave 10, you're going to get another reward. If you survive to wave 15, another reward. Wave 20, another reward. And what happens is every 5 waves, apart from the first 10, you're going to get from a different reward drop table, right? So wave 5 is from drop table A, wave 10 is from drop table A, wave 15 is from drop table B, and then wave 20 is from drop table C, and then it just repeats. So that is how the game sort of distributes rewards in defense missions, and the same idea is it trends for all the different missions within Warframe, right? And I'll explain more in depth whenever we get to the different types of missions. So as you can see, this is our defense mission. Here are the bad guys coming to hit the defense objective. We just want to fend them off for at least 5 waves. Alright, so I think I just completed wave 5, and as you can see, it's saying should I stay or should I go now. We're gonna press stay because we need to stay for 10 waves to complete our junction challenge. Alright, so I've completed my 10 waves. I just go ahead and extract, and that's our first junction requirement for Mercury completed. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this Venera. This is a capture mission. Capture missions are extremely easy. All you have to do is you run in, you kill one bad guy, you press the interact button on him to capture him, and then you run to the exit, and then you're done. So we're going to do that just to get it out of the way and get to Aphrodite. So we spawned in, capture target is right in front of us. We just go ahead and deal damage to him, and he's going to fall down. Then we capture him, and now hopefully we just run to the exit and we're all done. Sometimes what can happen is the Lotus can change your mind and be like, yo, never mind, kill everything here. So you might have to do that once or twice, but thankfully we got lucky. She didn't change her mind, then we can just go to the exit. So unfortunately, Aphrodite is a mobile defense. Mobile defense missions are quite annoying, and I'm just going to show you guys why. So we load into the mission. We have this little payload. We got to carry this payload all the way to the first objective. We got to put it in, and now we basically have to stand here for 1 minute and 10 seconds while it does its thing and protect it. And we got to do this 3 times, so realistically, what you guys should be doing is just kill as many enemies as possible so you can get as much XP as possible. And if you see any resources, just run and pick them up, because you really can't do anything else while you're doing this mission, you know? It's just standing around, killing enemies, and hopefully getting some resources, so just do that. Alright, so the first objective's completed. Now we have to run and do the exact same thing on the second console. So we just pick up the payload. Make sure you pick up the payload, otherwise it's going to take longer than it has to. And we just go ahead and we put it in the next one, and we wait for another 1 minute and 10 seconds. Alright, so we made it out of the mobile defense mission alive, and as you can see, we have now unlocked Fossa, but we've also unlocked Fortuna. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to go do the Vox Solaris quest in Fortuna, but before we go there, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the mods that we picked up just from playing in the Venus missions, right? So we're going to see if we can like upgrade our vault, for example. We can throw on some more mods. We can have more shield, more energy, more range in our abilities. So we might as well throw all that stuff on. We can take a look at our Paris. What have we got? We can throw on our Serration again, and we can throw on the Bane of Corpus mod. So this is the MK1 Paris. We've got the Kunai here, so we've got 6 more capacity on that, which means we can go ahead and we can throw on Radiation, so that'll be a nice damage boost for us, our first elemental combo, because the fire and the electric, they combined. Or alternatively, you could go ahead and run just electric and pistol gambit. It's really up to you. It depends on what the game recommends for Fortuna. Actually, it doesn't actually say what damage type it recommends, but honestly, because it's just the start of the game, I'd recommend just running both the elemental mods if you can fit them on. I think that's going to give you a better damage increase anyway. And then the MK1 bow, I can go ahead, I can throw on this stance mod. If I upgrade that, it's going to give me even more capacity, but I don't think it's too worth it right now. And I can throw on pressure points, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that on. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my modding section here, and on the right hand side of the screen, you can see that we can press sort by, and we can sort by duplicates. Now we can see mods that I've got a few duplicates of, so Reach. It's an okay mod, don't get me wrong, but I don't really need that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to middle mouse button, and that's going to select all 4 of them, and any other mod that I know is pretty bad, I'm just going to go ahead and middle mouse button or select them, and I'm going to go ahead and dissolve them for some Endo, just so then whenever I need to, I can upgrade my mods even further. So you can sell your duplicate mods or dissolve your duplicate mods for a little bit more Endo to help you with upgrading the mods that actually matter. And another thing which the game for some reason doesn't touch on, let's say you've got a Serration mod, right? This is the same Serration that we upgraded and we put on our regular Paris. You don't need to have a duplicate of Serration. So if I swap back to my regular Paris now, you can see that that Serration is still equipped. It's the same Serration that's on my MK1 Paris, right? So you only need to have one version of every single mod maxed out. You don't have to have, like, you know, 5 Serrations for 5 different primary weapons, if that makes sense. So, you know, just have the one and yeah, sell some of your duplicates to get some more endo, or dissolve them, I mean. So with our new mods equipped, we're going to go ahead and jump into Fortuna. So whenever you jump into Fortuna, pay attention. There's a cool cutscene at the start. So we're going to come and talk to Yuriko. So unfortunately, we can't fast travel to her right now for some reason, because we haven't spoke to her yet. So we just have to come up to her and talk to her from here. And this is going to start the Vox Solaris quest. So once you're done talking to all the NPCs here in Fortuna, it's gonna send you towards this elevator. And you guys know the idea, like, we're going into another open world. That's why this sort of door thing is in our way. We gotta wait for the NPCs to stop talking. But this is my favorite open world because it's very pretty and it's very cool. And it was very hype whenever it came out. So here we go into the Orb Vallis. Very awesome looking, right? So again, same thing. If you hold M, you can go ahead and you can fast travel to the area where the objective is. So we're fast traveling into this big yellow circle. And what we're going to be looking for, we're hopefully not going to fall into the water, but we're going to be looking for these like little resource pods that are falling from the sky. As you can see, there's one right here. And if you need some help finding them, just look for the smoke in the sky as well. So there is a time limit on this. You've got 8 minutes to do it, but because we TP'd to where we TP'd to, like we seen where 2 of them landed, right? So this is the second one here, and then the final one is all the way over here at the end. So you guys can see it. You can see the smoke. You just go ahead and pick that up, and that's our first Fortuna objective completed. Next objective, again, open up your map. Just go ahead and press the teleportation thing that's closest to the objective. Cast your speed ability and just run towards the yellow. So for this objective, we gotta go ahead and we gotta break down this drone. So just go ahead and, you know, shoot at it with the Paris or with the Kunai or whatever. Use your shock ability to kill all the enemies around. They're just kind of trash mobs. The Paris seems to deal the most damage to this thing. So we just go ahead and we disable it. And then I'm pretty sure we have to protect it for a little bit after it reboots. So just try to kill as many enemies here as possible. We actually got a Fever Strike mod. Now that is a really nice find early on in the game because that gives us Toxin. And we can use Toxin to make some nice elemental combos. Now it's for our melee weapon. So it's maybe not the most ideal if you like using your primary and your secondary, but it's actually going to be a big damage increase for our melee. So we've just headed back into Fortuna after completing that mission, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to see if I can throw on that Fever Strike mod. So if you're in a sort of player hub environment which is connected to an open world, you can just go ahead, pause the game, press equipment, press arsenal, and now you can edit your loadout in here, right? So if I wanted to equip that mod that I just got, I go to my regular bow, I would take off Fury, for example, I'd put on Fever Strike. Now if I had an electric mod, I could put that beside Fever Strike to make Corrosive, and Corrosive is good versus armored enemies because it reduces their maximum armor, which is quite nice whenever it procs, because their status effects like burning or freezing, well, that's what Corrosive status effect is. It just reduces their armor. You can throw on Northwind here, and it makes viral, and that means that they're going to take more damage to their health. So it says right here, viral increases damage to health up to 325% with multiple stacks. So that's what the status effect of viral does, right? So by running Pressure Point, Northwind, Fever Strike right now, I'm getting the most damage on my regular bow as I possibly can. So Fever Strike just opens up a lot of modding opportunities and potential. So after all the dialogue, you can come back into Fortuna. Something that I wanted to talk about, just for you guys to keep in mind, is you might not necessarily get the exact same mods that I'm getting. So if you didn't get Fever Strike from playing in Fortuna, don't worry too much about it. You will eventually get it. It's just like, I'm going to get lucky, you'll maybe get unlucky. You know, that's just how it is. Or maybe you do get lucky and you get better stuff. Like, let's say maybe you get Split Chamber from one of the enemies here. That's a multi-shot mod, which basically makes you shoot double bullets, right? So there's totally the potential that that happens. And that's just how Warframe is. It's RNG sometimes, and yeah, but we can figure out how to make you deal more damage, no problem. And generally speaking, there's guaranteed ways of like getting some good mods and stuff like that, which we'll cover whenever we get to it, you know? Right now, the most important thing to do is just progress through all of the quests that we possibly can and open up as much of the star chart that we possibly can as well. So we've got to this mission where we have to kind of like defend this little area. And there's going to be these enemies that are marked red. Whenever you kill them, they drop this little blue thing. And that's just going to speed up the progress of the thing that we're kind of hanging around. You know what I mean? So just kill the enemies that are marked red. So this guy dropping from the sky here, he's going to drop one of these little coins. And that coin is going to speed up that hack progress and just make the mission time overall shorter for us, which is quite nice. Eventually, you're going to come across this mission type. Now, this is called Excavation, where there is a drill. You've got to defend it. And what's going to happen is the game is going to spawn in enemies that have power cells on them. Whenever you kill them, they're going to drop it. You're going to pick it up, jump over to the excavator, and just like that, it's going to go in and power the drill. So you can see the power off the drill, 32% right now. What I want to do is I want to keep on killing these enemies to drop the batteries and putting them into the drill until it says full. And then all I'm going to have to do is defend it, right? So if the game would like to spawn in more battery enemies for me, that would be nice. It says that I'm abandoning the objective, but I'm pretty close to it, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? But yeah, we got this last one here. Go ahead, pick it up. Put it into the excavator. Full power. Now we just defend it for another 34 seconds. And that'll be excavation done. Okay, so the game gives you a choice here. You can either press I'll help, or you can press I need a moment. If you press I need a moment, nothing happens. If you press I'll help, you keep on progressing like normal. I don't know why this is in the game. It should just be I'll help. I don't know. So eventually you're gonna get a hoverboard, and yeah, it's pretty fun. You can shoot while you're on it, which is quite cool. But yeah, you just gotta ride it here and then get off and hack the objective. And now we gotta defend the objective, and then we're done with the Voxelaris quest. After you've completed the Voxelaris quest, if you come to your arsenal and you go to your gear wheel, you can press an empty slot and go ahead and put on the K-Drive launcher, and that's going to allow you to use that in any of the open world environments just for traversal's sake. And on top of that, if you come back to your ship, you go to communication inbox, you will have gotten the Garuda blueprint. Don't worry too much about that. We also have a Gara blueprint from the Saya's Vigil quest. So those are just two frames that you can get from the bounties in what's it called? Cetus and also Fortuna. So Gara is Cetus and then Garuda is from Fortuna. Don't worry too much about that right now. What we are going to worry about right now, though, is we are going to put on our better weapons. So I'm going to put on the regular Paris, and I'm going to make sure that I'm running this type of setup right here. So Serration, BNF Corpus, and Stormbringer. Then on my Kunai, I'm running a pretty okay build: Hornet Strike, Convulsion, and Heated Charge for radiation. And then on my bow, I actually got very lucky. I got Shocking Touch as well, so I could make Corrosive on my melee weapon if I really wanted to. Not going to bother with that right now, as long as I've got my best gear on, because what we're going to do is we are going to fight the Jackal for the first time on Fossa. So Jackal is a boss, and he actually drops parts for the Warframe called Rhino. So what we can do is we can come to the market here, we can type in Rhino, we can go ahead and click on Rhino, and as you can see, we can get his blueprint for 35,000 credits. Now, I don't have enough credits right now, I need to get 2,000 more, but I'll get that from fighting Fossa. And if you look, you can see that we need the Rhino Neuroptics, the Rhino Chassis, and the Rhino Systems, and 1 Gallium. So the Rhino Neuroptics, the Rhino Chassis, and the Rhino Systems, they need to be crafted on their own. So we need to get blueprints for the Neuroptics, the Chassis, and the Systems, and we get those from the Jackal. There's like a 33% chance for each part to drop, so they all have an equal chance to drop. If you're lucky, you'll get all 3 parts within 3 runs. You get 1 part per run. So I bet on our first run, we're going to get the Rhino chassis because it's normally just the most common part. But we're just going to go ahead, jump in, and we're going to fight the Jackal. Alright, so here we go. This is the Jackal's arena. He's got kind of a funny intro where the little guy's about to get crushed, so we're like, oh my god, is this the boss? I expected it to be bigger, but boom! Here's the Jackal. So, the Jackal's got 4 legs, as you can see, and he's kind of angry. So what we want to do is we want to keep our distance, and we want to shoot his legs. So again, if you're playing Vault, put down an electric shield, shoot through the shield at one of his legs or arms or whatever. He'll sometimes jump up in the air and do this spinny attack. So what I want you guys to do is get used to sliding before you hit the ground, and then like pointing up or down with your crosshair, and then pressing the spacebar to do a bullet jump up the way, just to dodge that laser attack, because that's just kind of the most efficient way to do it. You can run around the arena to avoid it, like a pleb like this, but I mean, that's no fun. Just do the flashy jump over the laser beam thing. You're gonna have to at some point anyway. And of course, just kill the trash mobs too. And just stay alive, you know? That's all we're trying to do. So whenever you have destroyed a leg and he does the spinny and he falls, he's going to be vulnerable to a mercy attack. So you have to go up, interact with him, and you'll do this animation. Unfortunately, my guy was invisible for some reason, so we didn't really get to see the cool animation. But here's another cool animation where we're on, we're kind of like grappling, hooking over to him. Now, all we got to do now is the other 3 legs or arms or whatever you want to call them. We just destroy those, and we just repeat 3 times, right? So he's doing the spinny, still doing the spinny, still doing a spinny, still doing a spinny, still spinning, I'm still spinning, still spinning. He's falling down. We get on top of him, do the animation, boom, stabbed. There's another health bar gone, very epic. And now the annoying part, because we have to shoot his hind legs rather than his front legs. So if you're a pro gamer and you're able to land some crazy shots while in the midair, this will be easy. But if you're not so skilled and you gotta like get behind him, it might be a little bit tougher, because this guy likes to turn around a lot. It's very annoying, and sometimes his other legs get in the way, you know what I'm saying? So just try to be as accurate as you possibly can, and try to just like here he goes, like he's spinning around, you know, spinning around. Okay, some damage, some damage. Do you know what I mean? He's spinny winny. He's like a teacup, like a teacup. Boom. You're gonna have to do this like a minimum 3 times if you're extremely lucky to get Rhino. Hopefully we get the systems on our first go, because the systems, in my experience, ends up being like the rarest part to get. It might be like 33, 28% drop chance. So 33 on the chassis and the optics, and 28 on the systems. But we got a stealth blueprint. It's a weapon. Unfortunately, we won't be able to craft that straight away, because I believe that's mastery rank locked. So we need to make some progress on our mastery before we can craft that. But if we head to the exit of the mission now, destroying some containers as we go, what do we get? You'll see what you get on this end screen. We got the Rhino and the optics as our first part. So that'll be in our foundry now, and hopefully we can go and craft it. Also, whenever you fight a boss for the first time, you're always going to get a mark from the Stalker, and he's an assassin who's randomly going to come and try and kill you. And if you kill him, you get one of his weapons. Maybe. Sometimes. It depends. Sometimes, if you're lucky. So as you can see here, we can spend 15,000 credits, 150 alloy plate, a Morphix 500 rubido, and a 150 polymer bundle to craft the Rhino Neuroptics. I'm not going to do that just yet though, because I still need to farm all of the other parts, and as you guys can probably tell, I need a lot of credits. So I'm just going to keep on running this Jackal boss fight until I have the systems and the chassis, because those are the last 2 blueprints that I need. A cool tip is if you get a duplicate blueprint, so let's say for example you're running it and you get another Neuroptics. If you come to equipment, then you go to inventory and you type in Rhino, you can see I've got 2 Neuroptics right now. What I can do is I can take one of those Neuroptic blueprints and I can sell it for 3,500 credits, and that's a good way to get a lot of early game credits, just selling duplicate items that you don't need. Also, another little small tip with this Jackal fight, if you're confident enough, you can just like stand under him and melee him, and you've seen just how fast we ended up shredding down that final leg there. I mean, like, it was so quick. So it actually only took me 5 runs and I managed to get all of the parts. So I'm just selling another duplicate Neuroptic, and as you can see, I've got the Rhino chassis blueprint, Rhino Neuroptics blueprint, and the Rhino systems blueprint. So now I need to get gallium and I need to get plastid. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to look at stuff and you're going to be like, where do I get those resources? And an easy way to figure out how to get resources is if you zoom into a planet, so let's say Earth here, bottom right hand corner, as you can see, little resource drone, hover over it, it says Earth drops ferrite, rubido, neurodes, and detonite ampule. We go to Venus, hover over, alloy plate, polymer bundle, circuits, field run sample. We go to Mercury, we can see morphics, ferrite, polymer bundle, detonite ampule, and then we go to Mars, we can see morphics, salvage, gallium, and field run sample. So what we're going to do now that we've got all of the Rhino part blueprints and we've done all of the junction requirements here, we're going to do the Mercury Junction. We're going to get 10,000 credits. We're going to get the Once Away quest, the Howl of the Kubrow quest, the Bolter blueprint. Now, the thing about the Bolter blueprint, guys, is when 1999 comes out, you're actually going to get the Bolter fully crafted. So if you're watching this before 1999 comes out, don't craft the Bolter because you're just going to get it fully crafted anyway. And yeah, fast deflection, streamline, Incubator power core, and 1,000 salvage. So let's just go ahead, jump into the Mercury Junction, and kill the Spectre that's here. So in this junction, we have a Rhino Spectre. Oh no. So, electric shields. Let's go ahead and shoot him in the head, and he's dead. Rest in peace, Rhino. Alright, so we've unlocked Mercury, and as you can see, Mercury is actually a dead end. So we gotta head back to Earth, and we gotta look at the Mars Junction, and it tells us to complete the Once Awake quest. So we're just gonna go ahead, press our X. We're gonna go ahead and press on Once Awake. We're gonna set Once Awake as our active quest, and we're gonna go ahead and say yes. And we're just gonna go ahead and fly through this quest. You don't need my help for this one, guys. This one is so easy. You know what? Maybe I lied. Maybe you do need my help. This is a spy mission, so I'm just going to show you how to do all of the rooms, or how I would do this difficulty of these rooms as a newer player. So as you can see, we're in the first spy vault already, and yeah, if that confused you, just watch it back. So you go through this door, go through this door, shoot that, go through this door again, and then you just, these stairs in between, down under, easy peasy, done and dusted. Moving on to the B vault. Okay, so the B vault is that one that I showed you in the Saya's Vigil quest. So you just come in, you jump up, you jump over here, you leap on down, do a nice ground slam, whatever, do the hacky console, done and dusted, break the camera, roll on out, back up the stairs, and you're done. Okay, the A, B, C vault, they might be different for your run. Like, my C vault might be your A vault, if that makes sense. So, you know, don't worry if it's not one-to-one, but with this one, you just have to go to the right, and then you go through this tube, and yeah, you're going down the way. Boom. Boom, boom, all done. There's a door here, so just to give you guys a better look at what this one looks like, it's like this long hallway, and then there's this, and then yeah, so I went through that little small hole to the right, and that's basically it. The Lotus will eventually send you Molten Impact, and the reason that they send you Molten Impact is because Molten Impact is supposed to be good versus the enemies that you're about to fight in this Defend the Bomb mission. So you can actually view the elements and the physical damage types that you're meant to use. If you just hover over the node, you can see suggested damage, slash, and heat. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our arsenal here, which we can actually do from navigation, by the way, and we just go ahead and we can press upgrade here. We can take off, you know, the mod that we don't want. So we want to run fire damage, right? So we're running Molten Impact, and then let's just go ahead and run Fury for that extra attack speed, because it didn't specify if cold or electric or toxin was going to be good. It just said heat and fire. We got Molten Impact, so that's what we're running. We're on the final wave of the 8-wave defense versus the Infested. Wowee, we did it. See how my stick is on fire? It's because we have Molten Impact on, man. Wowee, we did it. Look at that. 8 waves of defense. Done and dusted. Hooray. And that's the Once Awake quest completed as well. So it was that easy. And now we can actually, we can craft a heat sword. We just got a blueprint for that. And we can go ahead and progress on to the Mercury, or the Mars Junction, sorry, after we complete the Eurasia Mobile Defense. Something that you might want to do early game is actually use your Codex scanners to scan these plants. And the reason that you want to do that is because those plants are actually resources that you may or may not need later on if you decide to do the Titania quest. So I'm not too sure off the top of my head how many of each plant you need, but if you see some plants that glow orange when you aim down sights with the Codex scanner, just go ahead and give it a little scan. Codex scanners are very cheap and easy to get back, so don't worry too much about wasting them on the plants, because scanning the plants now, if you decide to do that quest, it's just going to save you a lot of hassle later on. Here's another one of the plants, Moonlight Jade Leaf. That's one you can scan as well. Alright, so we completed Eurasia. Now we're going into the Mars Junction, and we're going to get a bunch of stuff. So we get 15,000 credits, the Arcwing Quest, Incubator Power Core, Void Relic Segment, Lift H5, the Fragger Blueprint. Don't craft that because you're going to get that from 1999. Iron Phoenix, Heart of Deimos Quest, and more Codex scanners. So let's just go ahead. Confront the Loki Spectre. Don't be scared of this one. This one is totally harmless, I swear. For some reason I can't move. There we go. I can. Put down your electric shields. And now you just shoot him, like the Rhino one. Hey! He TP'd me closer. What a nice guy. And now he's drunk. Bye, Loki. See you later, bro. Okay, so after you've completed the Mars Junction, obviously you unlock Mars, but also you unlock a Void Relic segment. And this is what we use to actually look at the things that we have to use to unlock prime frames and weapons. So as you play, you're going to get relics, and you can view all of your relics here, and you can actually see what the relics drop. So I have Lift H5, which drops Fang Prime blueprints, Forma blueprints, Lex Prime receiver or not blueprints, but just Lex Prime receivers, Pandero Prime barrels, Strum Prime barrels, Haro Prime Systems blueprint, and then the Lift X1 drops Forma blueprint, Larkspur Prime blueprint, Lex Prime receiver, Bratton Prime blueprint, Shape Prime Systems, and Zaku Prime blueprint, right? So you've got common, uncommon, and rare rewards, and you can use void traces to actually upgrade the rarity, right? So I don't have any void traces right now because I actually haven't opened any relics to get any. We're going to need a few more void relics because I believe we need to open free for another junction requirement. And like I said, you just get these through gameplay. So if we go ahead and we go to Mars, we're just going to play through these missions here. But before I do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and start the Howl of the Kubrow quest so we can get ourselves a dog. So just go ahead and start the Howl of the Kubrow quest and press acquire the Incubator segment. We're just going to go ahead and do all the missions that it tells us to do. So the first mission that we got to do for the Howl of the Kubrow quest is a survival mission. So you can see in the top left hand corner there, it says life support systems, and that is just gradually going to go down. But if we keep on killing bad guys, there's a chance that they drop like a mini life support capsule, which is actually going to fill that life support system number back up. So I'm going to see if I can get... There's one right there. So if you pick that up, we go from 76 up to 80%. So the faster you kill, the more of the mini ones that you're going to get. And that makes it so you don't have to use the big ones. Now, there's no downside to using the big ones. The big ones actually restore quite a bit of oxygen or life support. It's just, you know, they don't spawn so often, so you don't want to like hit one of the big ones and then instantly hit another big one, you know what I mean? So you gotta keep on killing. You gotta keep on taking down the bad guys and killing as many of them as you can, so you can get as many mini ones as you can, so you don't have to hit the big ones, right? So all we gotta do is survive for another 3.5 minutes, and then we're good to get out of here. So if I were to go ahead and hit this one right here, we go from 60 all the way up to 88. So there you go. Okay, so now we got ourselves an incubator segment, and that goes into this little area right here. And I think after this, what we need to do is we need to go to Earth, and we need to destroy one of the Kubrow dens that will drop us a Kubrow Egg. So you just go ahead, press the X button, and it's going to take you to the mission where there's going to be a Kubrow den. Okay, so we just destroyed this Kubrow den right here, and it dropped us an egg. Because it dropped us an egg, we can just go ahead and sprint to the exit. Now, the unfortunate thing is that you can only hold one Kubrow Egg at a time, so we actually have to spend this one before we can come back to Earth and get another one, because there's many different types of Kubrows and pets in the game that require the Kubrow Egg to actually be made or tamed. Also, if you're in Earth and you see this neuroptic mass, make sure to destroy it and pick up the neurodes that it drops, because neurodes, they are a rare resource and you're going to need a lot to build a lot of different weapons and stuff. Behold the egg. Okay, so we press begin incubation. We press begin a random incubation, and then we can come back over to it, and it only takes a minute, but we can rush it for 0 platinum right now because we're new to the game. The game sort of lets you get a dog really fast. So we got a female Raxa Kubrow incubated. So I recommend just naming it the type that you get. That way it's going to stay nice and organized in your inventory, so just call it that. Press yes, and then you want to press mature for combat, and now they're going to grow up. And now we go to navigation, we press on our X, we go ahead and we defend our Kubrow in combat. So once we complete this mission, which is just a doggy defense mission, we're then going to be able to take our dog into all of the missions with us. Okay, so once you've completed the Howl of the Kubrow quest, we can actually equip mods to our dog. So come to your arsenal, go to the companion tab, go ahead and double press your Raxa. You can go ahead and put on this collar that you got from the quest, or you can put on a little helper hat, which is quite nice and funny too. That's all cosmetic stuff. You can change some cosmetics here if you want to, but we're mainly interested in the mods that we can throw on. So if you're lucky, you might have already got some sentinel mods or companion mods as you're just playing through Earth and killing some of the wild Kubrows and stuff like that. But we do come with some mods already equipped here, and we need to level our Kubrow up anyway. So this actually also counts towards your mastery, which is quite nice too. Your claws, you can go ahead and throw certain mods on. So for example, I got this from one of the wild Kubrows, which just increases my dog's damage, which is quite nice. And this is a stance, which just makes it act the way that it acts, right? So companion acts freely as they see fit, staggers enemies within 0.5 meters while moving. So quite cool. So that is the dog, and now what our goal is simply to just make sure that we can get our Rhino crafting and our Taxon crafting, and just basically craft as much as we can before we log off today. So like I said, for Rhino, I need to have 1 gallium for the systems, and then I actually need an additional gallium for his blueprint. So I don't need to worry about buying the blueprint or getting both galliums tonight, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of progress through Mars and hopefully come across a gallium, and then whenever I have everything crafting that I want to have crafting, then I will wrap it up for, this is day 1 or episode 1 of the beginner guide. So I'm just going to keep on playing through the Mars nodes until I come across a gallium that I need. Here's one of the plants on Mars, by the way, Ruck's Claw. You can go ahead and scan that with your Codex scanner. Okay, so I got my gallium. As you can see, I've got 5, but I'm also doing a sabotage mission. So sabotage mission, the quickest way to do it, come to this orange glowing core, put this one in, and then come and hack this console up here. Got all the bad guys around it, of course. So hackety, hackety, hack, hack, like that. Now we gotta shoot the fuel things, like that. Boom, boom. Now everything literally does go boom, boom, but everything also goes on lockdown, and it's very hectic, so we gotta do more hacking, like this. Very good, very nice. And now we just run and escape to the exit, and then that'll be us with our gallium ready to craft some stuff. Okay, so for context, I went up and to the right. So I did Hellas, Pharsis, and Gradivus, and I got the 5 gallium from Gradivus just from the gallium spawning in like on the ground. So I had to break the like little container thing, and then it dropped me like 3 or 2 gallium, right? That was quite epic. So now if we go to ready to build, we can build both of those, and we just go ahead and we type in Rhino chassis is building, Neuroptics is building. I need to get some plastids now. So plastids I get from Phobos, so it's a good thing that I went to the right. So we're literally at the Phobos Junction here. So I need to refine a Void Relic in my Relic console at the back of the ship. I need to open up 3 Lift Void Relics, and I need to visit Maroo. So we can go ahead and visit Maroo right now by clicking on Maroo's Bazaar and just heading on in. Let's just go ahead and hold Q. I can press Maroo. I can say Iton Treasures ? And I'm going to do this. I'm looking for Iton Treasure thing and press I'm ready. So this is like kind of like a time trial thing. And at the end of it, you get a statue, which you can put stars into. And then you can give that to Maroo, and she's going to give you like a ton of Endo. It's actually insane the amount of Endo you get for how early in the game this is. So this is the Void. This is the prettiest tile set in the game, in my opinion. It's very, very, very old, and it's where a lot of Warframe memories were made. If you're a very old player, you know what I mean. This is what we used to call the Void Towers, and it used to be very cool cool game mode where you had to survive for as long as possible in like survival missions, or defend for as long as possible in defense missions. So you can get different mods and different resources from here. So argon crystals, actually quite an important resources. They decay actually. So if you have 2, after a certain amount of time, the amount that you have in your inventory gets halved, right? So they're kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, but we ball, we move. That's not what we're here for right now. We stand on this pressure plate. Now we start the time trial once we get in here. Okay, here we go. Through this one, stand on another pressure plate, come up to the right door. And now we gotta zoom, dude. We gotta zoom. We did it. That was easy. Get the statue. Make sure to break open all these containers. You might get a star. You might get a mod. Who knows? Boom. Nothing for us there, really. And again, boom. Oh, we got a mod and a star. Incendiary coat. Some Ribido as well. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, we gotta keep on moving and get out of here. So after that mission, if you leave Maroo's Bazaar and you come down to mods here, you press Iton Treasure, you're going to see the statue you got. You can go ahead and install some of the stars that you've been picking up into this. And then you go ahead, you press Visit Maroo, press OK. It's going to take us back in there again. We go ahead and we talk to her and you say extract Endo from my Iton items. You go ahead, press the sculpture, press extract Endo. And there you go, you just got 1,425 Endo. Now that's super important early game. That's a big boost. Okay, so next up, the game says that we need to open free Lith Void Relics. So we actually have to get free, because if we click on this little thing right here, this is what we have to play to actually open up the relics. We've only got 2. So what I'm going to do to get another one is I'm going to run some spy missions. And I'm going to run some spy missions on Earth, because it's just a low level one and it's quite easy to understand. The reason that I'm picking spy missions is because if you do the vaults undetected, you actually get bonus XP, and on top of that, you can get some pretty good mods. So dual stat elemental mods, so 60% of heat, then 60% status chance, or gold is another one as well. And you can also get Ivara parts. So it's for XP, it's for relics, it's for Ivara parts, which is a Warframe, and it's also for some good mods. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the Earth vaults pretty easy. So we're running into one of the first vaults. We go down this like little waterfall thing. Just go ahead, jump out of it, look straight up, and then jump straight up, and then there you go. You're at the door where you got to go in. Hack this, and now you're in the vault. It is really that simple. Like, just go down, jump up again, and boom, you're done. Yeah, so this one's also pretty easy. It's the one that I showed you guys at the beginning. And also the other thing, the reason that I picked Earth is because I know a lot of the early game weapons, like, they take neurodes, so I've got a chance to get neurodes from here on Earth, right, from the containers and whatnot. So now this vault is a little bit weird, because you gotta come down here, we gotta hack this first console, and now we gotta move all the way over here. We gotta hack this console over here through the waterfall. Then we need to jump down, and we gotta hack this console here in front of the waterfall. And then we gotta jump down again, and we gotta hack this console in front of the door to open the door. We gotta head in, and then we gotta hack the actual terminal like that, and then that one's done. At the end of the mission, we got ourselves a Lith M9 relic, which is exactly what we needed. So now all we gotta do is we gotta go ahead and absolutely make sure that you set your party to public before you do a relic mission. But you wanna click this Void Fisher thing here, and you want to pick the Lith Fisher mission that you actually have access to. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to choose one of these relics. It doesn't matter which. We're just going to go ahead, press equip for mission, and that is going to load us into a party ideally. Now what happens in these missions is you have this relic active, right? And what happens is the enemies are spawning in, and alongside the enemies there are these portals, right? Now, these portals corrupt the enemies, and then when you kill those enemies that are corrupted, they have a chance to drop reactant, right? Or I like to call them lemons. So you need to pick up 10 reactant or 10 lemons, and then at the end of the rotation, so whenever we do 2 excavators, in this case, we farm up 200 cryotic, you will get a prime item from your relic. Now, everyone in the party, so me, Nighthall, Hadouken, and the Rakels, you can see under my health and shields there, each of us have a relic equipped, and each of us have to pick up the 10 reactant to actually get the prime part from the relic, right? And we can all see one another's rewards, and we can all pick one another's rewards at the end. So let's say Nighthall gets something that I really want, and the other 2 players really want. We can all pick it. We can all get it, but we don't get to take our own thing then. So, yeah, that's a thing, but it is what it is. So if I just keep on putting my batteries into Excavator B here, we eventually will get it to full power. And now it's just a matter of waiting for 1 minute and 15 seconds. And we will all see the prime items that we got from our relics. Alright, so we just finished our rotation. So that's the rotation A reward, the 2,000 credits. Now what's going to happen is there's going to be a big UI pop-up on the screen very shortly. And it's just going to show us that, hey, the relic's been opened. So here we go. We can see that we can choose between Forma Blueprint, Cernos Prime Blueprint, Titania Prime Neuroptics Blueprint, and Hildren Prime Systems. Now, see, the thing is, the Cernos Prime Blueprint, Titania Prime Blueprint, they're rare, but as a new player, you're going to need Forma blueprints as well. So honestly, you can really pick whatever you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay and I'm going to open up one more relic. And then I'm going to extract from this mission just by heading to extraction, because you can see the green there. And I'm going to upgrade my final one. So I need to actually open relics to get the traces to upgrade my relics so I can complete the Phobos Junction requirement. So I'm opening 2 and I'm going to upgrade 1. So I'm basically just doing the exact same story. I'm killing the bad guys to get corrupted. I'm picking up the reactant that they drop until I get 10. You can't go over. You can't be under. You got to get exactly 10. And then we're finishing the objective, which is 2 excavators, 200 cryotic. And we're picking our prime part or our Forma blueprint. And then that's it. The cool thing about doing an excavation mission like this is that you also get relics as a reward as you're opening relics, right? So I've got a Lift G13 relic now, which is quite nice. All right, so Excavator D is about to finish. I can see that I've got 46 void traces, which is enough to slightly upgrade one of my relics. So after this, we are going to back out and we're going to go do that. So I'm going to make my way towards extraction now. We're just waiting for that little UI pop up. 4, 3, 2, 1. So Hildren Prime Neuroptics, Gunsum Prime Blade, Titania Prime Systems. It's just the best thing there. So we're taking it. So you can tell which is good and what is bad by the color below. Bronze, silver, gold. So I'm just going to go ahead and press no relic and then head to extraction. Okay, so after that Void Relic mission, I'm heading down to my little relic kiosk here. I'm picking any random relic. And I'm spending the void traces to upgrade my relic like so. All done on this right hand side of the screen. Maybe not able to see it too good because the camera might have been in the way. But, you know, you can also do it from this screen as well before you enter into the mission. I'm just going to take a look. So you click and then you click. I don't own. You press upgrade and then you can press one of these little symbols down here in the bottom right. My camera is covering it a little bit, but you know, you get the point. You get the gist of it. So now, if we go to Mars and we go to Phobos Junction, I have to open one more because I forgot that I need to open 3. So I just got too excited to upgrade that one. But let's just go ahead. We'll open up the upgraded one, right? So we've got a better chance to get in the Wisp Prime and the Grendel Prime stuff. And it's just an exterminate mission, so it should be pretty fast anyway if it would like to put us actually into the mission with the guys that are doing it. All right, so we got our 10 reactant. We just got to kill like 19 more enemies, and then we can go ahead. We can extract and see what we get inside our Easter egg or cabbage. We for some reason call relics cabbages in Warframe. So don't ask me why. They kind of look like cabbages, but just not the same color, you know? Alright, so we actually ended up getting the Wisp Prime Neuroptics. It's very tempting to me to go for the Forma blueprints though, because Forma is how you add more shapes to your modding section. And it's actually worth it to have a Forma building every single day, because it's one of those things that takes 24 hours to build. And it also requires pretty rare resources to craft as well. So having Forma blueprints, because your Forma blueprint gets consumed every single time you build a Forma, having a nice, decent stockpile of them is quite important. Having one Forma crafting every single day is quite important, but it also depends on how much you plan on playing the game. But I would say, like, have one Forma crafting by the end of every single play session whenever you're able to get all of the resources that you need to craft the Forma, right? But we're not at that point yet, so it doesn't matter too much. And I also have a bunch of Forma from basically DE gifting. But if we head up to the Phobos Junction now, we can go ahead, we can jump in, and we can kill the Spectre here. Alrighty, so I think this is just a Mag Spectre, so we're just going to do the exact same thing that we've been doing every other time. We pop down our shields, we just go ahead and we shoot the head, and then they will be dead. Maybe now? One more time? Oh, they're using Polarize. There we go. Where'd they go? How'd they end up all the way over here? What? She's just chilling. She's hanging out. Okay, so I've unlocked Phobos, and all I need from Phobos is plastids. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all of the missions up the left-hand side of Phobos, and hopefully I get 600 plastids from just playing these missions. This is what the little plastid container looks like, by the way. So I just got 22 from that, and I got like 20-something earlier as well, so... I actually came across a spy mission in Phobos, so this is the first vault that I gotta do, and this one is as simple as just avoid the lasers, bro. Avoid the lasers. Just wait for it to go up, and then we hop, and you can break the camera, you can hack the console. There's other ways that you can get in, but I just like to keep it nice and simple, nice and straightforward. Do it quickly like that. Done and dusted. Alright, another vault. So this one is kind of like a... I don't know how to describe it. Like a big open area just with a lot of cameras. So these containers also, they can drop plastids. See, the minute I go through this door, the lasers are going to turn on. It's so silly. I'm going to go the other way. We're just going to go into the room this way. Usually I just go through those doors and hack the console because it's just straightforward. But this is also as straightforward. But sometimes, like in later levels, that vent won't be open. So just got to keep that in mind. Sometimes brute forcing it is kind of the way. Okay, this vault is pretty straightforward. So lasers there. To avoid the lasers, stand in this little like wedge. Lasers are behind me. We go for the vent here. Open it. Go around. Go up. Keep going. Wreck the vent. Drop on down. Hack the console. Like so. Easy peasy. So right now we're doing a rescue mission. And there's a big like jail cell. This is the corpus version. You want to come up the side to where this air vent is. And then just drop down. And then hack the little like container pods, I guess. Where the guy could be. Hopefully you get the right one in the first try. Unlike me, I get the wrong one. There it is. So there's your rescue target. And you just leave the exact same way that you came in. Like that. I've been doing so many Phobos missions for plastids that I'm on the boss mission now. So this is Iliad. And the boss is called the Sergeant. And to be honest, not too sure why he's even classified as a boss. Because he literally looks the same as these guys. And he fights the same as these guys. So I don't know, man. See, like, look. There he is, the Sergeant. On the screen, in the flesh. This guy drops mag, so we're gonna farm up mag, but we don't care about crafting mag, so we'll get our parts and stuff, but don't care too much about actually getting the stuff. Oh, look, 25 plastids, woo! I've got about 400 plastids right now, so only 200 to go, and then we are good to go and get the Rhino. Oh yeah, this is the boss, by the way. I was whacking him and like he's almost dead. I don't know where he went. Oh, he's over here. Oh, he's invisible. Where'd he go? Hello, boss. That's all he does. He just goes invisible and runs away. Like, there you go. Just whack him, and he's dead. Oh, we got 23 plastids from it. Nice, amazing, worth it. So worth it. Wonder what part we're gonna get though. Hopefully systems first off. Alright, so we are finally done farming the plastids. The plastid farming is definitely by far what took the longest. If we go to show profile here and we take a look at the stats, this has been a 4-hour play session, which is kind of what I want to shoot for with every single episode, so it's not too short and not too long, you know what I mean? So kind of have an idea of what it is that you gotta do. So I've got my Rhino parts crafting, the Rhino chassis, the Rhino systems, the Rhino neuroptics, the Taxon, the Kraken, the Burstin, and the Clanky. So by the time that I log in tomorrow, all of that stuff will be ready to claim. And what we'll also do tomorrow is we will level up the rest of the MK1 stuff and end up selling those and buy the other MK1 stuff from the market. We'll do our next mastery test and we'll keep on progressing through the star chart. So we're going to go into a lot more depth and a lot more details as the episodes sort of progress. There's a lot of nuance to this game, as you might be able to tell based on like the damage system them and stuff like that, but I tried to keep it simple for the first episode, where we're just going through the star chart. We're just putting some mods on our weapons and our warframes. We're just farming some things up. We're just getting some resources and all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button below. And if you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.